Warm greetings, everyone. On behalf of Friday Waters, an initiative of the W4W Foundation, a think tank built as Citizens Collective, we welcome you to another session of Friday Waters Arts. Friday Waters is a continuation of the signature series Wednesdays for Water. The activities initiated as Friday Water series are Friday Water Talkies, Friday Water Reading Club, Friday Water Thesis Club, and Friday Water Arts. And recently we have started Meeting a Maestro. Each of these sessions takes place once a month. The idea of Friday Waters is to bring water knowledge available in various alternate forms at one place to highlight the opportunities and challenges related to water. The idea is also to increase the outreach of the alternate water related practices in the water networks as well as in the society at large. For example, like we get artists, we get cinema people, we get a cinema crew, we get musicians to talk about in the Friday Water Art sessions. Especially the Friday Water Art sessions are designed to be fun filled and yet fruitful to learn about the water matters. Do keep following us at www.w4w.in for regular updates. My name is Mansee Bhargava, and I'm the host from W4W today. And in today's water art session, which is on living fossils, the boats of Bengal, we have Dr. Swarup Bhattacharya. First of all, may I invite Swarup to really be very humble to accept this invitation just at one phone call. I'm so thankful to you to you take out time for us. Before I invite you to make your presentation, I take the opportunity to introduce you briefly and then the floor to you. Dr. Swarup Bhattacharya is an anthropologist who has been studying the man-boat relationship since 1997, along with Ole Crumlin Peterson, Sian McGrail, Lucy Blue, Fred Hawker, Jan Bill, and others. He has collaborated with well-known maritime archaeologists. He began his work in the Viking Ship Museum in Roskilde, Denmark, as a visiting research scholar and as an Exeter associate at the University of Exeter in the United Kingdom. He is also currently collaborating on many projects. Just to give small few names on EMKP project alongside Professor John P. Cooper, Dr. Jishan Ali Sheikh, and Professor Vasant Shinde. I'm just keeping it short so that we have maximum time with Swarupda to speak on his journey. But before he makes his presentation, I am also curious to ask what really made you so attracted to this beautiful creature, which also for us is kind of a something very I must say which is something very surprising, or something which is, as a child we were always curious about how does it float, because we used to play with these little paper boats. Thank you so much once again, Swarup. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, that was the year 1997. I got my master's degree in anthropology from Calcutta University in 1995. You are getting my voice, I think, yeah?
Yes, you are audible. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. In 1997, I got some information. There is one project on boat. So I went there for interview and they selected me. Since 1997 February, still I'm with boat. So it's not my credit. Actually, the credit goes to my guide, Dr. Lutika Varadarajan, who initiated that project. And that was the project name called Bengal Watertalks. And that was the project of West Bengal in one part and Andaman is other part. NISTAD, that is National Institute of Science, Technology and Development Studies, they were the host institute, and the fund was given by the Ministry of Ocean Development. So they had funded, and I started that research work, and since then I am still continuing that research. So I'd like to share my screen, and before that I'd like to convey my gratitude to you and your organization that at least you had given me a chance to inform others about the richness of Bengal maritime culture. Not only the maritime culture, I call it maritime technology, or rather riverine technology. So have a look the richness of Bengal. I'm sharing my screen.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
It's the living fossils, the boats of Bengal. It's my title. As an anthropologist, I'm doing that research, the relationship between man and boat. And I choose that title, Living Fossils, because this is the part of the world where we have no such effort to unearth any historical documents on boats or ships from our ship, from our river or any land. That means we do not have the underwater archaeology section here. So we do not have any archaeological remains of boat and ship. Instead, what we have, that is our living tradition. The boats are still flying here and there, and those are all traditionally built. So if you look the traditionally built wooden boat, if you go deeper into the boat, you can understand the technology, you can understand the variety, you can understand the inner meanings of those planking. So at least from those present boats, you can reconstruct the history of the past from the present boats. So I think it's very important that the title, uh, have a look. It's the boat. Still, our boat builders are building those traditionally built, traditional wooden boats. This is the boat, the most primitive type of boat. That is the watertight compartment. We call it donga, or rather taler donga, the palm dugout. This is the most primitive and most commonly used in all over the Bengal in low-lying areas. People still those rely on those tale donga to cross from one to go one from one place to other, and mainly in the flood-prone area, that kind of tale donga is widely used. That tale donga is a dugout canoe, but later we developed that kind of planked boat. These are the boats from Subarnarekha River. They call it dunga. Those are few planks that they have added to make a shape of the boat. So from dugout to plank boat, they developed in that way. Not only the dunga, we have other variety also. This boat is called Shalti. Shalti of Sundarban region, mainly in the South 24 Parganas, near to Kolkata. That kind of Shalti is still flying. These are the long and narrow boats. It's another boat type called Paukia of Digha region. So already you are understanding that Paukia, Shalti, Chot Shalti, these are all different variety of boats with different typological names. We have that written. Each and every type of boat, we have different names. And people, those who build those boats, they knows actually what is the actually the name of those type of boats. So they are the boat makers. They have that knowledge rather than those who flying those boats or those who are using those boats. Sometimes they do not know the typological variety. It's a boat, straw carrier. Actually, the people, they call it not a noko. In Bengali, noko means boat. But in some parts of the Bengal, in the mouth of the Ganges, in Diamond Harbour region, the people used to say that kind of boat as not noko. These are the boat properly or boat of Medinipur. So I think this is the boat with some foreign element. That's why probably the people of the other bank of the Ganges, they uh, they do not want to term it in local language. They call it boat. This is the boat called Khoro Kisti. Khoro Kisti, Kasti is the word from Arabic word. That means it's a straw carrier. And the building technology of that boat is something different, what we call as skeleton built technology. This boat is also a skeleton built boat called Sultani. It's also from Geokhali of Medinipur district. Another boat from Sundarban region, they call it Kolai. It can carry 40,000 bricks at a time. So it's a huge, huge boat. But look into deeper, it's also a shell built. In Bengal, the boats are mainly built shell first. That means the outer portion of the boat first, then they insert those cross beams and other skeletons or the ribs. So it's completely different from the Europe. In India and in Bengal, we first build the shell first, and then we put those ribs. It's the Malo Bachari or Jele Bachari of Kolkata. Bachari is a category and Malo is the fisher folk. So fisher folk, those who use that kind of boat, they call it Malo Bachari. It's a long and narrow boat for fishing mainly. There is a place north from Kolkata in Hooghly district called Bolagar. Bolagar is a commercial boat building center where a hamlet called Rajbongshi Para, they used to build boats of a kind throughout the year. They would like to keep those boats in their courtyard, and any buyer can come and they can take. So it's a completely different one than other traditional ways. It's a commercial boat building center, but they do the technology in traditional way. Whatever the boats we have learned earlier, these are the boats, the most primary tool for making any connection between two lands. We know that boat developed much before the invention of wheel. And without that boat, it's not possible to migrate from one place to other. So boat is very important and essential item by which man migrated from one place to other, from one continent to other. And in this part of the world, that is Bengal, since our childhood, we know how to fly, how we have to maneuver the boat, we know, because this is very much related with our culture. And this is the process of putting two planks in that way. They are putting some staple pins in between the two planks. So a kind of staple pins they are using for making planks, joining two planks. It's unique. It is unique in the sense nowhere in the world you can find that kind of technology. This is the Bengal technology. And another important thing is that the planks are moving from one end to other in parallel way with the central plank or the central keel plank. This is also another uniqueness. We know that kind of planking was earlier very common in medieval Europe, and that is the planking called hulk planking, Hulk. But still we are using that hulk planking. So we can learn that still our technology is running without any intervention of other technology. So we are keeping our technology alive. And in the year 2022, Endangered Material Knowledge Program, they funded a project for a building of a boat called Chot. That Chot boat is an endangered, and very people knows about that boat building. And we were fortunate that Ponchanan Mondal, who is the chief carpenter, chief boat builder, he knows that boat building. So we commissioned a boat. Ponchanan Mondal and his son, 4 sons, they made that boat, the Chot boat for us. We documented the entire process of boat building, and not only documentation through video, through photograph, we made those line drawings and other scientific drawings. Actually, those entire digitized material will be kept in the British Museum archive. It's an open access archive. Anybody can see the boat building process. So at least one boat of India is now preserved in digitized format. These are the all process of that boat building, minute details and very intricate design. They are erecting the central keel plank. Important, very important. They are putting those planks one after other with that kind of clamping. They call it jant bari. These are unique in India. Uniqueness. This is a line drawing, the central keel plank, and then putting of 2 straight garboard straight on 2 sides of the central plank. These are the staple pins, the double-ended nail, double-ended flat plate. They insert in between 2 things. That is called jolui. Jolui. Various types of joints they use for the boat making. It's a kind of joint. And if you look the technology, the builder who is making that boat, that joint, he's very skilled, because I have seen it without any measurement. Within few minutes, he made that joint. And it's so accurate, so accurate. And that knowledge, the knowledge of boat building, transmits from one generation to other through Guru Shishya Parampara. That means the teacher who teach his students through practical teaching, and by which the guru, the students learn from their guru, the boat building technology. Here you can look, a boat builder is looking something, and that is the process. He's watching the curvature. We do not have any measurement, only we just observe through our eyes, and our head, our brain can analyze the thing, and we execute it through our hands. This is the knowledge system, intangible cultural heritage still we are following. They do not have any measuring tools, but instead they use those strings and other things. They measure it through their limb, from their finger, from their foot. They measure it. That is the boat. These are the line drawings. Line drawings again. And those mysteries, they are called themselves as Sutrodhar. Sutro means thread. They bear the thread. And those threads are very essential tool for any boat making. These are other tools for boat making. They made it themselves. We have also only two sail makers. We were fortunate, they made a sail for that boat. Traditional boat sail makers, Shamsundar Devnath and his brother. And they are our boat builders, Ponchanan Mundul and others. And they belong to Nomoshudra community. Nomoshudra is belongs to the lower strata of Hindu caste system. They are mainly the fisher folk, but some of them, they are also skilled carpenter or skilled boat builder. And they build boat out of raw materials collected locally, and they built here that boat out of a Kirish wood. They call it Albizia Lebek, Kirish, Tepta Kirish. And earlier days, shal and teak, that is Soria robusta and Tectona grandis, was used for boat making. Nowadays, because of the scarcity and because of the expensive, they are now looking for the local, less expensive woods like Kirish, Arjun, Babla, Jilapi, and others. But they are still continuing their profession. Because, they are still continuing, and we have just few remains of archaeological remains. This is the remains from Indian Museum, a boat of 12th century found in Odisha, in Bhubaneswar region. And this is a reverse blinker boat. Another technology. It's very uncommon in India. In very small parts of India, you can find that kind of reverse blinker technology still continuing. And in medieval temple, we have some boat replicas, boat representations. In 1799, F.B. Solvin, he aced 36 drawings on boats. Boats of Bengal is a chapter of his book. And we were fortunate that there are some remains of old boats and ships from F.B. Solvin. You know that boat is not only a boat. Boat is something more. Sometimes it's a daughter. A boat builder, when he builds a boat, he thinks it is their daughter. They are making their daughter. After completion of the boat, he used to hand over the boat, the daughter, to a new family, and that is the process they call as marriage giving. That means his daughter is now going to another family as bride. And they are the boat makers. They do not have money, but still they are continuing because they think they have the only knowledge of that high skill knowledge of boat building. So still they are making those boats for us, by which we are moving from one place to other. And that is the skill, that is the knowledge still we have. Still we are continuing. I know At least, at least if there is water, there will be the boat, and those boat makers will build those boats. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Swarupda. You may please close the presentation and also switch on your video so that we can have a, a e-connected communication, which makes it much more human. So I request you to also switch on your video, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. You may close the presentation, no issues. Okay, so I would like to start with few questions, and I encourage and request all the participants here, and also I see few participants on the YouTube. If you have any questions, I will take them up one by one, and please feel free to even question or comment or even appreciate the work. And thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. I was always curious, being a water girl. I will say, I mean, everything around and in and on water always fascinates me. And I mean, boating has been one of them, but the way we see boat and the way you were showing boat is very, very different. And it's really good to see the minor details in the way one can go into looking at the art of boat making. And I think the last bit of it, you really touched my soul when you said that these boat makers, they really look making a boat as like, grooming their daughters, and then there's a ritual to send them to their main ghar or body where they will be really actually performing their potential.
So sure, buddy.
Sure, buddy, and there they will be performing their potential. I wish we could have this conversation in completely Bangla because I am Bengali, but I think for the knowledge to be spread wider, we have to keep it bilingual, so we can go that way as well. So you already answered my question on the kind of food and then also the spiritual or let's say the emotional part of it. Just a small question to get a clarification from your understanding, because you also mentioned the Shutrodhar and the Namashudro and the fisher folks, and I'm talking about boat makers. Uh, are these boat makers also the fisher folks, or they are two set of people, or sometimes they are the same people who are making their boat and they are the same people who are doing the fishing? Just to clarify.
Yeah, it's in different parts of Bengal in different ways. Actually, if you look the Bolagar boat builders,
Uh,
Bolagar boat builders are Rajbongshis mainly.
mm,
Rajbongshis means they are the Tiors, they are the fisher folk community. So a section of that fisher folk uh, came into boat building. Whereas in Sundarban region, they are the Nomoshudros. Nomoshudros are also cultivator, also the fisher folk. So a group of people, those who like that profession, the carpentry mechanism, they became expert on boat. So it depends. Actually, the boat
okay.
builders all are from lower strata of our community.
Yes. So so you if I understand you correctly, it is based on the region that, and also probably the size of the boat, because if the fisher folks are small boat makers, they use their, and I saw you also had the tarer boat chotota,
Donga.
because in our
Talet
childhood,
donga.
donga, yes, I was forgetting that word donga, taler donga. I remember living in my Dida and Thakurma's বাড়ি, যখন পুরো জল ভরে যেত আশেপাশে, তো কলা কলার ডোঙ্গা কিংবা তালের ডোঙ্গা নিয়ে, like it was like a
Ekdom.
fun play for us as kids, but for like mama and kaku, pishe, yeah, pishi, and most of the time it were male, which will be my next question to you. For them, it was serious work because they will go from house to the main road to get grocery, get fish, and then come back. And for us, it was just like playing with the boats, breaking them, making them, and just having fun. So, I mean, of course, there's a serious business behind it. Having grown up in Bengal, it has also a very emotional touch for me. But having not having enough experience of really doing them, but of course, seeing them at least. half privilege of experiencing them. My next question to you is actually about the gender, maybe not fully understood by me, because often most of the professions which are highlighted is around water, I see it's men all the time. And boat making and fishing in the water body, in this deeper water body are the main thing, but I know most of the time বাজারে দিদিরাও বসে, দাদারাও বসে, দিদিরাও বসে. But how is it in the boat making? It looks quite masculine task. But do you really see women also engaged in this kind of work, or they are more assisting or helpers in the boat making? Just curious about it, because I also lead the Water Resource Council of the country. So as a woman, I'm also very curious where we can find interesting water related women, So if there are, I would like to get in touch with them.
Yeah, I'm doing that research. This research lasts 27 years, and I am roaming here and there in search
Yes,
of both. But unfortunately, I have not found a single woman as bodybuilder. It's
boat maker.
unfortunately, very unfortunate. But I do not know the answer. Maybe the masculine, the hard task is related with that. But if there is any bodybuilding, then the uh, the women folk of that family definitely indirectly related with the boat
Absolutely.
making
Yeah,
activity.
absolutely. I think it's the division of the labor, because I always feel that if a labor, even a man is going out and let's say in some cases they are the bread earners, but if the woman is making the bread of the morning for the men to go out to get the bread, it's an equal partnership in that case. So I rest the case of
Yes,
gender here, and I want to bring the aspect of the generation now. You did mention that Guru Shishya Parampara ache, and I want to know from the family perspective of the boat makers. And I mean, because this is also being very serious in the fisher folk community, where the younger generation are not taking the same profession for some reason or the other. And of course, urbanization, globalization are the key reason which looks like driving them away from their parental profession. How is it in the boat making of the Bengal region? How are the youth looking at their parents and grandparents with this profession? See, we can fancy it as a researcher and as a documentation thing, but is it really appreciated within the family, this kind of profession? I just want to understand the dynamics. I'm sorry, but I'm
no,
really a curious child, because that's my task here
yeah,
today.
yeah. Actually, the in earlier days, uh, we used that boat.
Hmm.
Nowadays, the number of boats is decreasing. The typological variety is also decreasing because of
It's
many
like
reasons.
also the typology of fishes are decreasing, by the way. Huh?
Yeah,
It's related.
everything.
Yeah.
So the number of boat makers, you do not need a huge number of boat makers. So the boat makers knows that they will not get any order maybe in the next season. So why they will come? They are choosing other professions. But it's sad that Ponchanan Mundal told me that I was not in the school. Uh, that Ponchanan Mundal at
Ah,
72 years, he told that he was not in the school. That's why he was forced to choose the boat building
maybe.
as
Words.
activity. It's sad, but I do not know how I will explain that one. It's sad that our next generation is not coming into the boat making profession, but boat making is a truly skilled information transmit from one generation to other. It's not a mechanic like other mechanics
Get to
because
the
you cannot,
factory.
yeah, you cannot experiment in the open sea. Yeah, because your life is uh, not in the safe position in the open sea. So it's a very intricate knowledge they received from their guru. But still, there are people, those who are making those boats. I know the Dihimondol Ghat. A village was very famous for boat builders. Now, in maybe 50 years ago, more than 100 such boat builders were there. Now, you can find only 10 to 15 boat makers
Oh.
because that kind of boat is not, uh, not you do not need that kind of boat. So they are losing their profession.
Yeah. So that's a very interesting thing because you also were mentioning the typology of boat depending on the region. Probably it is also dependent on the depth of the water and the quality of the water. The boat needs to be like that. Just want to understand very broadly as a common citizen who is naive about this whole craft as well as mechanical version of doing the boats. Now with the advent of the motorized boats, which are going everywhere, anywhere, and doing all kinds of nasty things with their propellers and all. Uh, what is the price dynamics between, let's say we have a same size of boat? How do they fare? And attached to that question is also the time factor for me. I mean, you can select a size of your choice to respond to me. How much time a boat making takes for X size of boat? Because we know the factory time, but I would like to understand because that probably is also adding to the economics of boat, the dying art, because it is almost a dying art now.
Yeah. It depends on the size of the boat. Yeah.
Yes.
And how many boat builders are involved with that boat? It
Yes.
depends. So we made that EMKP project where 5 boat builders were deployed, and it takes almost 1 month to complete.
Okay.
It's a 1 month task. But if you go in Bolagar, they can make a small boat within 3 or 5 days. So that
Okay.
means they have that skill and they can make it for you as you wish, because they can sell that boat in 10,000 rupees.
So one person boat that we see in Sundarban many a times, do you call it a small boat? I saw it, many people with one person on the boat or sometimes 3 persons, but the boat size change.
Yes.
So these are the small
Uh,
boats, right?
these are the small boats. So we measure those boats in terms of our hand length from here to
Okay.
here. Ek
Very
haath.
interesting too.
Ek
Ak haath,
haath
huh.
noko hai. Sometimes those are the smallest small
So
boats.
that's the
They call
unit.
it
That's the
chile.
unit.
That's
Hmm.
the unit of linear measurement, and they call it dosh hater noko. The
Okay.
length of the boat is 10 haath. 1 haath equals to 1.5 feet. That is
Yes.
18 feet.
Yeah. So another interesting
15
thing
feet.
about
Yeah.
the architecture of the boat, and we are going to close very soon if there are no questions from the participants. Usually at W4W, we are highly encouraging participants to engage with our speakers because these are rare opportunities. We have had more than 500 speakers speaking on our platform, making us the longest water conversation in the world now. Just to come back to the question, I saw these boats which are long in Sundarban, very tipped, and then we have this rounded small boat. So I saw that in your presentations also. Is it to do with the water or the wave or the river or sea or pond? This is how the shape is decided? See, my job
It,
is to ask naive questions. Sorry.
no. It's a very interesting question because all those shapes of the boat, it depends on the nature of water.
Absolutely.
What the kind of the wave, the current, the depth of the river, then the wind velocity makes
Okay.
the what kind of items you are carrying in the boat, how much you
Okay.
are carrying. All
Yeah,
these
the
are related.
capacity. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So all these are related with the shape of the boat and its length, width, and its shear, the curvature of the boat. All these are depend because the boats of the Sundarban region, they used to face the tide,
Tides.
the wave. So the front portion and the back portion is usually high. Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes, like this, huh?
But in Murshidabad area, there is no such tidal waves or the waves. So you can make a flat boat, you can run from one place to other. So it
Mm-hmm.
all depends on the nature of the river.
Interestingly, we are discussing today boats and we are not getting to the scale of ship as well. And this conversation also gives me an idea that how come in more than 300 sessions, we still did not have a session on ships. So, I mean, you give me an idea to have a session on ships, but I'm just there with quick last two questions. And I really encourage some of the participants to engage with you. One question when you're talking about the shape and all, I want to relate it with my childhood, those paper boats. By the way, I still play those paper boats even if I am old woman. Um, those paper boats were on the water just for playing. But I know with the boats, you have a portion of the boat inside the water. And what is there a proportion? I mean, what I knew when I was in school. Sorry, after that, I have not learned about boat ever. That the portion which is on the water is also inside the water. Can you just little bit enlighten me on that?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's the buoyancy.
Yeah.
Um, if it is a river boat and the depth of the river is quite high, then you can use a spoon-shaped boat.
Okay.
Spoon-shaped means the bottom portion is a
It's
spoon-shaped.
shallow. Hmm.
Yeah, but if you run that spoon-shaped boat in North Bengal, it cannot run
Run.
because in North Bengal the water is shallow, the depth is low. So that means the boat will go inside of the water and it will touch the ground.
Hmm. Hmm.
So instead of that round-shaped or spoon-shaped boat, you need a flat-bottomed boat which can displace more water so that the boat can be on top of the water. These are all dynamics. These
Yeah.
are
That,
very
yeah.
intricate.
Very interesting. I feel like talking to you, but I know you also have to leave, and I am also traveling, so I also have to leave. My last question to you, and that is related to the rising water crisis, sea level rising, climate change, and also the dying wisdom of boat making with the advent of, motorized and fast speed. We are all wanting to have a fast life, and boat making is also unfortunately going that way. How do these boat makers and the boat making itself coping up with the rising water crisis? And are there any modifications in the design of it? And the rough water is also even more than the past. We have more rough waters, more tsunamis coming up, and more cyclones coming up. How are they coping with and are they discussing about their profession and the risk of the profession because of the climate change? Because climate change is all about water crisis. That's how I see it.
Yeah, yeah, it is all about water crisis, but not the rapid change of water quality or something like that
Yes.
one, the nature of water. I'd like to mention it here that the boat makers, uh, the knowledge they receive is the oral tradition. We do
Yes.
not have any template. We do not
Hmm.
have any written document. So
Hmm.
always what we learn, what he learned from their teacher, he is to make it little bit modification in his next experiment. So always that boat is changing. It's not a fix because it's not a copy paste. Always they
Yeah.
are uh, putting their
Every boat is new.
innovation. Yeah. So
Every daughter is unique.
obviously. That's why probably uh, they think that maybe in this nature of the water, it's not going well. Maybe I can little bit do more depth for the next one. In that way, they are making those experiments. So always they are changing. I think that is the nature by which they can uh, they can adopt the new situation.
Thank you so much. Syed Naqib Mahmood ji, would you like to say a few lines? Maybe that's good for our speakers also. It's very encouraging for them. And Niladri Karmakar. Would you like to add a line before I just do the vote of thanks? Or I go ahead? Niladri or Sayed Bhai? Go ahead. Sayed
Hello.
Bhai. Hi, Sayed Bhai. Go ahead.
It is a pleasure hearing him.
Yes.
I follow most of his write-up in his website and Facebook. In fact, I share most of his work in Bangladesh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he was very thorough. I learned a
Yeah.
lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Syed Bhai. Thank you so much, all the participants here at Zoom and YouTube, and as well as all the participants in the past as we cross 325 mark today with Swarup Das wonderful presentation on the living fossils, the boats of Bengal. I would also like to congratulate Swarup Da for taking this opportunity, because after the presentation, I almost felt that boats chose Swarup Da and boat makers chose Swarup Da. So I changed my question from the beginning, that how did you choose boat? And I now feel that boats chose you actually. And it's like, it's really good to see the way how researchers can go so in depth. And this is probably one of the ways we can also document and disseminate this wonderful wisdom and art. I see it as artwork as well as, the work of heart. So thank you so much once again, Swarupda, for this wonderful presentation. I'm going to keep bothering you for other water related matters and getting some interesting artists around the water issues. Before we close the session, I would like to announce the next week. Next week, Friday Waters is on book reading session, which is on December 6th. And we are going to talk about the heads and tails of Ganga. And it's a beautifully written book from authors from Pune and Mumbai. And the more information is going to follow in the website, but it is also in the chat box for your reference. Next week, our signature series in Wednesdays for Water on December, we have professors from IIT to talk about water efficient technologies and climate smart agriculture. And again, the joining link is in the chat box, and more information will be there on the website very soon. We do Wednesdays more as a serious talk around scientific work, but at the same time we try to decode the hard science into soft citizen science. But on Fridays we are getting these interesting people to talk about what is not so much covered in terms of science, and that's why we make these unique conversations for all of us here. Thank you so much, all of you. Once again, please take care of yourself and keep drinking a lot of water, and also keeps conserving water at the same time. Please take care, and we see each other very soon, maybe on Monday as well as on Wednesday, Friday. And yes, a big announcement that our Water Festival 2025 information is a big surprise for all of us. We do Water Festival once every year. That's a physical event. We are already planning for it, and the surprise is there. Stay tuned, and stay tuned on our website, www.w4w.in. Thanks a lot, all of you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye bye.